Very warm greetings, everybody. It's my delight as part of the Jomba digital program to invite one of our key focused artists, the magnificent Joseph Tebandeke from Kampala in Uganda. Joseph has a long history of being connected with Jomba, and we are delighted this year to be given the privilege of doing the world premiere of his latest digital dance film, which we'll talk about in a moment. But just to introduce you to Joseph, he was born in Kampala, Uganda in 1993. He's considered to be one of the great pioneers of contemporary dance making and also profoundly sits within the intersection of things like disability, ideas of race, class, and nation. His work is always deeply mediated by a commitment to kind of the idea of partnerships and working in collaborations. It's a kind of zeitgeist of his work. And he's always in constant dialogue, not just with his fellow Ugandan dance makers, notably someone like Robert Simpija, who also has a long history with Jomba, but also Oscar Senyonga, and I hope I'm saying his name correctly, who was Joseph's first dance teacher. He's also collaborated across African borders, most notably in Rwanda and South Africa, but also beyond the African borders in Europe and America. And he's really, those kinds of cross borders are kind of the seminal zeitgeist of his work, and which is also why, with our own thematics or provocation of Jomba this year about border crossings and crossing border lands, we're delighted to feature Joseph's work. But he's also a teacher, a choreographer, dancer, and is really interested in working in various kinds of spaces. But I'm also always delighted to know that he always chooses to come back home to Kampala and to Uganda and, of course, to the African continent. So, Joseph, welcome and thank you.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and I'm really very excited, and I'm very grateful that I get this opportunity to get this opportunity that our film is going to be like premiered by Jomba. So this is really a very big thing for us. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Joe. Thank you. So, I thought, just as a way of introducing the film and introducing you to audiences who might not know your work, I suppose, as our East African family, I'm interested to hear a little bit about what it's like being a dancer in Kampala, Uganda.
It's absolutely very challenging, I would say, because if you look at the structures we have for dance and how the governments run in East Africa, they really like we don't have the subsidies. Governments don't have we don't have resources. And when you take it to the other side of accessibility, like this is something that doesn't happen anywhere. So I know the dance world has really pushed so hard to see that the contemporary and the modern dance really happens in Africa. But then it takes it to the other side where the access, if the dance spaces have been created, but then it's not accessible. Like you can't access the right information, to the spaces and the teachers to understand what does really your body need, and so that's what makes it very challenging to, because every time I would love to learn, I would love to challenge myself, but it makes it difficult, like very challenging, that when you go to a specific class, that the way it's being introduced, the way the language that is being used is not like welcoming, is not like accessible. Like it keeps on reminding you of only the things you can't do. So that
Mm.
class is not a best class for you to attend. That's what makes it very challenging. So, and looking at I would love, with dance, with all the creations and all the things, we use a lot of finance. And being the fact that everyone in Africa is struggling with the finance in art,
Mm.
I always tell you this, Leanne, that if a normal person or the non-disabled dancers, if they have to struggle like let's say 30%, I have to do like times three. 30 times 3 for me to be where I have to be, you know. So that's really a very big challenge that we have to find solution, and I'm very grateful for what you're doing with how you're partnering with ADN. Yes, it's really, it's bringing solutions and ways how we can really solve these problems, you know. So I'm very grateful for Jumbo's programs, Leanne. Thank you.
And also, it is about community. I think, you know, as artists living with disabilities, it's the isolation that we
Yeah.
know that, you know, on our continent, the way in which the isolation has meant that people think that they're working alone. And part of what the African Dance Disability Network, in partnership with Jomba, is doing is trying to create a space where people can dialogue and maybe not solve the problems, but certainly to say, this is what you know, to have that dialogue and to create a community. So, I mean, in a way, Joseph, yes, you wanted to say something.
Yes, no, because for me, what I think is, yeah, coming up with these dialogues, it opens up our mind. It brings out like what are real the urgent issues that we have to start looking at, finding a solution. So yeah, these dialogues are really a big step to the start. Like they're opening up our mind and see, oh, we've been missing such and such issues, but through these dialogues that are being created by Jumba, I think it's a great move. It's, yeah.
And thank you for being an artist who's been so open to talk with us and to certainly with me to be someone who's challenged me and really pushed me to think about issues of access. So I'm interested, Joseph, also, you know, within the African continent, there is so much push-pull around disability that in some contexts, disability is seen as a punishment. It's
Mm.
sometimes hidden. You know, it's seen as sometimes an ancestral curse. There's all sorts of complexities around the disabled African subject. And yet, here you are, this extraordinary human being living with a disability who's become one of our most important dance ambassadors around the world, actually. And your collaborations and your work has brought such visibility to something which is rendered so invisible. And I'm interested to hear a little bit about how you feel, how this journey. I know that you started in football, I think, or in gymnastics or you know sport, and then sort of went to a dance class, and suddenly the world shifted for you. But I'm interested in you thinking now as this extraordinary, you know, respected, often invited artist all over the world. You know, how does this measure in your sense of yourself and your journey?
Thank you so much for this question, Lilian. And I, because every time when you mention this or when this crosses my mind, really my mind, when I go back to all these previous years, what really helped me, I think, is when I started researching and finding out what really dance is, like my curiosity and like the eager trying to find answers to understand what really my body is. I put a lot of focus on understanding my body. I think this helped me a lot to appreciate who I am. This helped me to know what are my capabilities.
Mm,
This helped me a lot to realize like there are certain things that are not going to change, but this is who I am, and I'm perfect, you know, because it's I understood what is the idea behind dance, you know, this being expressive, being how can I use it to communicate. And to do that better, I needed to understand my emotions. I needed to understand my body and love it.
mm,
So I think this helped me a lot, has really helped me in a way that in so many times I go to specific courses, specific classes, and I'm being reminded of things I cannot do. And I'm like,
mm,
how about we focus on things I could do, because in a way it has helped me to stand for myself, to have a voice in a way that I always give people challenges, like examples, not challenges, examples, telling them that yes, you're saying I cannot do this, but if I show you, can you also do this? And then like, no, can you also do this move? And it looks beautiful on my side, and so does that make you less, or do I have to focus on only that? Or like, should we create an environment where we can all work together, have fun, and put our message and voices be heard out there? Because I believe I'm great and you're great, but together we really can. When we work together as a team, as a community, we find a better way, better languages, a better common language that with a common sound that we want to put out to the world. So I think when I go back to all how I've come up, what really helped me find my stand is really appreciating who I really am. This is not going to change. And trying to find what I can, focusing on my do's, not what I cannot do. So, yeah.
It's so beautiful and profound because I mean I think this is one of the things that I always think about you is the way in which you absolutely love um, your body and the way that you move, and the challenges for non-disabled dancers to kind of reach up and meet you in that place. And I feel very, yeah, very inspired. Thank you so much, Joseph. So this beautiful film that we're going to watch that is premiering at Jomba, it's a new film. It's just been made. I'm going to try and pronounce it, but you're going to assist me if I get it wrong.
Sure, sure.
Amazina Mbuyaga. Um,
Amazina Mbuyaga. Yes.
Mbuyaga. Okay, so almost right. Tell us a little bit about the film, about its genesis. It's a deeply personal film. Um, Tell us a little bit about the film and just as a way of an introduction to our audience.
So, the dance, first of all, the name means dancing through the wind. Or when I listen to the winds, how do I like a call, the call and response? When I listen to the winds, how can I give them back through my movement? So, or when I listen to the nature, how do I respond? You know, and this film was deeply created through the culture. Like there is so much we've let go. Like sometimes it feels when you move into this dance world and with all the challenges and all the things, it feels like it's shaping you into a specific dance technique.
Mm.
And this feels like every time you end up like learning and keep inquiring more knowledge, it feels like you're being trapped in a in a certain, like in a certain skin, in a different skin that is not your skin, but something different, you know. And then we started questioning ourselves. How do we really excavate what we already have? And so me and the director of the film, Teflon Moses, we started questioning ourselves. What are the things that really take us back to feel really rooted, to feel like there are things that I can connect to like so easily. Then this took us to the back cloth. This is a very, and it's a cloth that was still back in the days that was used to, it was our traditional cloth and it was made from the trees. I was really known and became very, very, just a minute. Sorry. Yes, I was saying this traditional cloth became very like like a symbol for the culture, you know. So we said, okay, this is a thing. How do we started collaborating with some of the creators, like the costume designers. This is the perfect IDC. Say now, how do we come up with something that is going to define our challenges? You know, let's say like what I've been going through dance and how the accessibility is it shifting, is it changing, and like trying how do I connect all this to my emotion to see that how do I break through all this skin, like to bring out myself and this is who I am. So the whole idea started growing around this. Then this is how we started like trying to pick the venues and like, oh, we have some historical places that were like a lot of during during the place where we recorded this film, we didn't mention this, like before it was a dance space, and it was, yes, it was an old dance space, and it was specifically like they needed specific class of people who could only go there, but it didn't work out for some reasons and it was abandoned, and now it's empty. It's an empty broken house. And so we felt connected to that, and we said, now how do we add like the limitations, things that are hindering us? So we came up with roping, and like, I love working with installation. So we had to find to create limitation, and all me being like no access, being limited to all the space. And then I love working with nature. To me, it feels like, yes, now I'm free. Now my my body's opened up to everywhere. So this is how it all started. And when we came up with my team and the directors, we said, no, now we need to come to put this to work. We need to connect it to everyone's emotion, and see how do we even break through the system, break through another skin. Don't allow to wear someone's skin. Be yourself and move forward. Hope it's answering some of you.
Absolutely. Thank you. It's a beautiful way into the film, and your love of installation and also your very careful that the coat is deeply beautiful, and the idea of shedding. So thank you, Joseph. We're going to leave it there, and we're going to leave the audience to absolutely enjoy the beautiful film. Thank you once again for your extraordinary work and for your connection to us in South Africa and at Jomba. And yeah, we continue to wish you well and hope to see you on our shores again very soon. Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you so much, Leanne, for your time, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to do the world premiere at Jomba. We're very grateful. Thank you.
If you ask me if there is a moment I felt trapped, to be honest, I feel trapped every day. I feel trapped every time. It is really, really heartbreaking that you have to explain to each and every person you meet in this world, why do I have to prove my existence and my worth just to access the same opportunities? With all these misconceptions of this is what you should be, this is what you have to do at this specific age, and I stopped seeing myself from what my body lacked. What the world thinks I really am. I think this self-perception has really helped me grow as an artist. When I jumped into dance, I felt like my body needs this to free itself from the world. In the beginning, when I was starting to know dance, I was all excited to get to know this thing called the contemporary dance, and with all this curiosity, it was heartbreaking for me to find out that there was not a single school that was there in Uganda to take up someone with a disability to learn about dance. Knowing my body pushed me to understanding where I come from, which takes me to my culture. This led me to recognize a deeper value of heritage. I came to realize that the body comes with so much information that is already in our bodies. We just needed to know how to unlock it. What dance made me realize? Individuality is not something to hide, it's something to be celebrated. Disability shouldn't be something fragile, because by so doing that, you've created a section for people with disability, segregating them from a specific group and putting them to a specific corner. This is how I see it. We should let people talk about it. We should let people discuss about it so that they're used to it, because the more we separate it from the human beings, the more they run away from it because they don't understand it. If you ask me to describe a specific movement or a sequence that I hold personal, it's like asking me to choose a part of my body that is most important. To me, dance itself is beyond the movement. Dance is a birthright, something we inherit from our ancestors. Every sequence, every movement is part of the larger journey. The whole process is magical. It's a flow and it's a mechanism of so many body parts, and which makes the whole process beautiful. But with all my work, my hope is that I help people to be more free, to question, to ask, to learn, to make them understand, like, come on, look here. This is a condition that everyone experiences in life. The message I would tell to my younger self is, my body has no problem. Do not wait for anyone. Life is 100% my responsibility. Go out there, create, dream, explore. We still have a chance to protect and pass on the right knowledge to the younger generation. That itself is power form of change. If I had the power, I would make sure everyone understands the true power that lies in your identity, in your color, in your culture, in your background. I am Tebandeke Joseph, a contemporary dance artist.